Hey guys, I'm Jess McDonald. It's the 10th of June today and you're tuned in for another episode of GameSpot News. Today is the second day of E3, although technically they call it day one. I guess the logic is strong with this expo. Anyway, let's get into the highlights from Sony and Ubisoft's conferences yesterday as well as the Nintendo one from this morning. Ubisoft's conference was pretty much rounded up into them telling us all about their already announced games. Fortunately, when your announced games are that good, nobody really seems to mind. The publisher kicked it off with our first real look at Far Cry 4, which featured the main antagonist being a real piece of crap, and then taking a selfie with the protagonist. What followed was a couple of really solid looks at the crew and Assassin's Creed Unity, which we'd seen previously but never looked quite as good as they did in the Ubi presser. The lovely French Revolution setting for the brutal AC Unity was shown off, and as for the racing title The Crew, a super cool sped up trailer made the game look way better than it did during last year's debut. Ubi rounded it up with some multiplayer fun times in The Division, which was supplemented by an intriguing story trailer. And they then revealed Rainbow Six Siege for new gen and PC. The reboot of Rainbow Six Patriots is a 5v5 squad-based shooter which is set to keep you keen for Ubi's upcoming shooty offerings. A bunch of awesome things happened at Sony's press conference, and whether you missed it or not, it's totally worth reiterating that GTA 5 is coming to PC, also PS4 and Xbox One. Obviously, the whole GTA 5 coming to PS4 part was what Sony focused on, but Rockstar have said that regardless of the platform, the game will have across-the-board graphical and technical improvements and a stunning new level of details. Specifically, the developer has said you can look forward to increased draw distances, finer texture details, denser traffic, and enhanced resolution. Also, new wildlife! Finally! Sony also hit the announcements hard, telling us that Uncharted 4: A Thief's End will be landing on PS4 in 2015. Drake looked lovely and super detailed, although mildly injured, but even though the action game closed out the show, it wasn't the only surprise. Nostalgic adventure game fans everywhere suffered minor head implosions after it was revealed that Tim Schafer's Grim Fandango would be coming to PS4 and Vita. The last thing worth mentioning is that we got a serious slab of Far Cry 4 gameplay. We got to see the two-player cooperative mode in action, as well as super dangerous stampeding elephants and brand new lethal takedowns. And the last thing we need to talk about is the super fun and adorable madness that was the Nintendo Digital event this morning. Bayonetta 2 made an appearance, as did the gorgeously adorable Yoshi's Woolly World, but the biggest hit of the day was certainly the brand new Legend of Zelda for Wii U. We were treated to an insanely cool looking trailer and told that they're completely prepped to make an open world 3D Hyrule happen again. Basically, just enjoy watching it, and then watching it over and over and over again until we get our next glimpse of this epic title appearing in 2015. Nintendo also revealed the lovely Mario Maker, where players can utilize the Wii U gamepad to create levels from scratch. If you're not the creative type, it's still worth gathering a little hype for the Star Fox game that's coming to Wii U. According to Time magazine, the game is still fundamentally a spaceship-based shooter, and if you pick it up, you'll be using the gamepad motion controls to aim and fire an R-Wing's weapons. You'll also be able to turn that sweet R-Wing into a land tank if it takes your fancy. Let me know what conference was your favorite of this year's selection and which game has struck your fancy. If you're interested in all the E3 bits and pieces coming out of this year's expo, be sure to stay tuned to GameSpot.com/E3, and we'll be back tomorrow.